Holy cow! We have been on an adventure here. As many of you have been following along, we've had mechanical issues with the sleigh. First it's been the airbags, and then we had the check engine light come on. Well, the check engine light all of a sudden vanished. I called the dealership and they said, yeah, you're probably okay. Just keep an eye on it unless the engine is running poorly. And it was running great. And so we continued our journey to the Oregon coast. Got all the way to Bend, Oregon, and the engine light comes back on. Well, thankfully, there's a dealership, a Mercedes dealership, to where we could get that checked out. And so we scheduled an appointment, went in, and they said, yes, we need to do a full diagnostic. Can't do it until Monday. This was on a Friday. We've got it scheduled to go in next Monday. And on the way back to our camp spot, it's a CurbNTurf spot in Raymond, Oregon, just about, 20 miles or so outside of Bend. And on the way back, we're almost to the camp spot, and then all of a sudden, and whoosh, I thought, oh no, I've blown a tire. So we pulled over. I checked all the tires, they were fine. Well, let's just see if we can make it back in. And so we got back on the road, and I noticed that the engine had decelerated. So I couldn't go very fast, and I was hearing this whooshing sound. Thank goodness for YouTube. So I went in and I typed in AI. I said, I'm driving down the highway about 55 miles an hour. All of a sudden I hear a psh. What could that be? And of course I told them the vehicle that we were in. Immediately they said, it's probably the cool air intake to the turbocharger, and gave me instructions on how to check that out. I climbed underneath the RV, and sure enough, that hose was gone, or blown a hole in it. And so that made sense. So luckily I called a local auto parts store here. I looked on YouTube how to fix it, if it's something that I could do. And it looks like something that I can handle. And so I'm just going to take the blown hose off. I'm gonna shoot over to the auto parts store. And if you've got a similar situation where you're running a turbo diesel in like a Sprinter van or something similar, and you hear that pop and a whoosh of air and the engine decelerates, you'll know exactly what to do. So let's go check it out. Okay, and here is where our hose has blown. I'll take it off so that you can see it a little bit better. There's little clamps on the side here that I just need to get moved. You can see that coming off. Okay. So, and of course, we don't want to lose that. That hose should just come right off, just like that. And then we need to do the same with the other end of the hose. All right, mission accomplished. But as you can see, holy cow, I'll pull this out so that you can see it a little bit better. Okay, sure enough, that puppy is blown. You can see from the inside here. Oh, there's Santa. So it really wasn't that difficult to get it off. It was just pulling that spring clamp off and then just loosening the spring clamp from the other side. So now it's a matter of going into the auto parts store, getting the right part, bringing it back, and putting it back together. Oh, let's hope this goes well. So I'm sitting out here on the highway waiting for my Uber ride, and these horses across the way are staring me down like, what the heck are you doing out here? That guy's like, hey, what are you doing out here in the middle of nowhere, Santa? What an adventure, never ends. Hey, I finally got the new part, and isn't that just cute? I mean, it brings a real smile to my face. But it was a bit of a fiasco. You see, I called the auto parts store. They said, yes, we can have it today at 2:30. And so I called an Uber and went there at 2:30 and arrived, and they said, oh, the place called and said they didn't have it. But another store does all the way in Bend, Oregon, which was another, 20 miles or so, which would have cost me a pretty penny to get another Uber. But the guy working the counter there, he said, hey, you know what? It's on my way back home. I'm off in about half hour, and I'd be happy to take you there. So big shout out to Colby, who helped me out. He drove me to the other store. They had it, I picked it up, and yeah, it was a little bit more expensive to get an Uber all the way back here on that longer drive, but we're here. Oh, and speaking about being here, I wanted to give a little shout out to our CurbNTurf spot here. This has been fantastic. One of the challenges is finding a nice place to park for the night. And we found this spot on CurbNTurf. It's called Wits End. It's in Redmond, Oregon, which is just outside of Bend. And the views here are incredible. There's fires going on in the mountains around, but today the wind, the breeze has kicked up. It's a nice cool day and it has cleared out all the smoke, blue skies everywhere. And we've got this spot all to ourselves. And that's one of the wonderful things about CurbNTurf is you can find these private landowners that have a spot available to park their RV. And the price was significantly better than the local RV parks. And so we're just happy to be here. Do check out CurbNTurf, and you can either go to curbnturf.com or download the app and find private property that you can camp on, and it makes a great difference for you. So I'm ready to climb under and stick this on. I learned that what I need to do is just put a little oil around this rubber gasket right there, and then a little oil on this rubber gasket. Put the clamp or the clasp, the ring, whatever you want to call it, put that in place before you actually put this in, and then that way it just snaps into place. So let's give it a shot. We're back up underneath the van, and I am just going to clean off old fitting here. Make sure we get a good seal, a good connection. Remember I mentioned you want to keep the ring, and you actually want to put it back on before. Get that in a good spot here. I think that is where we need it. Put this one on first. That's secured. And then let's slide that one in. Okay, I think we're in business. We are back in the van, and the truth will come out now. Let's give it a shot. Oh, that purrs like a kitten. I think we're in good shape.